Hey, what's up, family? So we're gonna be getting started shortly. Woo, woo. Let me make sure that we are streaming. Amazing, amazing, amazing. What I want to do today is get us in the right mind, get us in the right framework, so we can maximize this time. Let me make sure that I got this link, and I'm gonna send it out right here. Here, let's do a quick countdown. All right. So, computer's acting so slow here, but if you guys can hear me, if you guys can see me, can you do me a favor and type 111 inside the chat? 111 inside the chat. Since today is Thursday, I want to technically get us set up properly with all of our amazing resources. Now, let me drop the link here. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's start. So, welcome, family. I appreciate everybody on this call. If you're watching the replay, feel free type in hashtag replay. Today's call is very special because I really want to help you guys get a basic understanding of a framework. You know, a lot of the times you're getting started in a platform, in a new space, and at times you can get overwhelmed with this system, right? With everything that we have here to helping you guys elevate. So what I want to do is on this call, I want to make sure that we go by step by step by step. Now I know a lot of this might seem, dumb or it's too time consuming, but you got to understand, before you can build an amazing mansion, an amazing castle, you got to have a good foundation, right? So everybody who is on this call, the first thing I want you guys to do is I want you to download your success manual, right? And all you have to do is when you log into your Elevated FX back office, you're going to see this format, right? You're going to be able to scroll down and right here, download your success blueprint. All right. Now, when you click that, it's clearly going to be a PDF. So what I want you to do is eventually print that out because, to be honest, a lot of the times having it on your computer might not be as effective as having it in front of your face, right? Now, tonight, what I want to do is we're going to go step by step and really getting an understanding because inside Elevated FX, this platform, we've designed it in a very strategic way to helping you get set up properly in the right mindset, the right mind frame, so you can identify the market that's going to be able to set you free, right? With the right tools and systems that we have in place. So the first thing we want to be able to do is inside your success manual, you're clearly going to have a few questions that's going to get you on the right mind. You're going to start off and you're literally going to, here, I can show you guys. When we go into our success manual, you're going to have these questions that I truly want you guys to answer them. Where are you at currently right now? And the reason I say that is because a lot of the times people will start this progress and they're looking for specific results, yet they don't realize that this is a process, right? This is going to be something that by being able to identify where you're currently at right now, whether if that's in your happiness, your health, your relationships, your finances, your business, this is going to help you identify, okay, 90 days from now, 30 days from now, did I elevate from where I was 30 days ago, right? And I want you guys to really take this process very serious because this is going to already get a start in where you want to be and identifying that it's already done, right? From being able to identify where you're currently at right now in your life, the next thing that I truly want you guys to hone in on is what goals do you want to achieve in the next 30 to 90 days? And I truly want you to be detailed, right? I truly want you to be detailed. This is going to be an opportunity for you to already start to identify that if in the next 30 days you want to be consistent and profitable, well, you have something to evaluate. If in the next 90 days you want to become a funded trader, you know what you're going to have to do from day 1 to the day 90 to get funded as a trader, right? So I want you to be able to have a goal in mind, whether if that's a short-term 30-day goal or a longer-term 90-day goal, because this is what's going to help you identify each and every day the process that's going to help you achieve that goal. Now, if you're just getting started, right? If this is your first time identifying this market, this opportunity, I want you to realize, listen, give it 30 to 90 days to see some consistency, right? A lot of the time people want to make hundreds and thousands of dollars overnight, but you got to realize it's a process, right? You want to stay consistent. You want to stay profitable. Now, the next thing I want you guys to literally hone in on is this aspect inside your success manual, right? Here, let me see if I could do something real quick. I think I could see it a little better, like. One second, family. I just want to do it. Okay, 2-page. All right. Perfect. Right. So we identified where we're at. Where is it that we want to be? If you want to be a funded trader in the next 90 days, you identify it. You identify that to become funded in the next 90 days, you're going to have to hit specific goals, right? So the next thing I want you guys to do is I truly want you to dive deep, right? Because the first thing we're doing is we're identifying the right mindset. You see, the problem that traders fail is because they don't have the right mindset, right? They over leverage. They're not using proper risk management, right? They're emotionally attached to their money. So the next thing that you're going to notice is inside your success manual, we have this area right here that talks about your budget, right? Now, like I said, a lot of the times people are going to overlook this process that we've set here in front of you. But I want you to understand that it works, right? That it works. And this is the reason why. You see, each and every month, whether if you're working, you got residual bills. You got to pay your rent, your insurance, your utilities, right? You got to pay your subscriptions, your car, your maintenance, your memberships. And I want you to truly quantify everything, because when we're trading, everything is going to be mechanical. We're not going to get emotional about things, because when you get emotional, that's when you start to over leverage, over risk. So what you need to identify from the start, from where you currently are at right now, family, from the start, from where you currently are at, literally, I want you to break down your budget, right? And literally, I broke down my budget. I got my numbers. And at the end, you're going to be able to identify, okay, based off of where I am at right now financially, you have a bank statement. You can see what's coming in, what's coming out. You're going to be able to identify, where are you at right now? Are you breaking even? Right? Is your current reality of a job, of your current cash flow, is that sustaining where you're currently at? Because a lot of the times you have all these expenses, and then even if you're working, you got to make sure that it's not only covering that, but now allowing you to make a little bit more, right? Because a lot of times, let's just say if my expenses are $4,000 a month and I'm making $4,000 a month, it makes no sense. I'm just breaking even, right? So you're going to realize there's going to be moments and times, bills, responsibilities. You need to be prepared. You need to be prepared and identified. Even inside Elevated FX, you need to identify, hey, when is my next membership due? Right? Because I need to make sure that these tools are going to set me free. So I need to make sure that they're activated in time. All right. And from day one, if you don't know where you're at financially, how are you going to be able to move on to the next month without, actually moving with purpose? So by tapping into your financial budget, You should already right now in this current state be able to ask yourself, do I have enough to sustain where I want to be, my bills, my reality? If not, I need to create more cash flow, right? Because that's the biggest problem, cash flow. A lot of people think, since you're limited with the cash flow, you're going to try to tap into this market that's the largest financial market with the limited cash flow. It makes no sense, right? So yes, don't quit your jobs. Listen, don't even quit your jobs, because that's the biggest mistake people do when they cut their cash flow. Quit their jobs, and now you still got these bills and responsibilities. All right. Now I'm helping you identify this, because if you're not at a financial point, well, clearly you can do two things. You can get a job, or you can actually build this business. And you'll see, as you get results, people are going to be attracted to you who want to see these results, right? So make sure you don't skip over that fact, right? Do not skip over that. 70% of Americans don't even have $1,000 to their name after expenses, right? 70% of Americans. So what that means is you need to think smarter with this skill set and leverage the opportunities we have, right? Now, the next thing I want you guys to do that really breaks down into day one is being able to identify your time, right? Being able to identify your time. One second, family. Right? And I say that because a lot of the times people just want to trade when they're available to trade, right? And it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Give me 1 second. Literally going through this blueprint. Ba-da-bum-bum. All right. Let me make sure that it's double. Boom, perfect. All right, perfect. Let's just get this right here. This is going to be important, because at the end of the day, we only have 24 hours. Whether if you work a 9 to 5, a 2 to 10, right? Whatever time you're working, that's going to be your work time, right? You want to be able to identify that regardless of what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, it's helping you get by. Hey, you have a roof over your head, right? I hope so, right? So what I want you guys to do is identify what is it that you're doing with your time. This is going to help you identify exactly what you're going to be looking at in the market, right? Because if you notice, the first thing we're doing is set in a framework that's working with what your current reality is, right? I'm not saying to quit your job, but if your current reality is you have a 9 to 5 that's paying your bills and your responsibilities, we're going to work around that. We're going to see how we can maybe wake up a little earlier, go to sleep a little earlier, right? Maybe go to sleep a little later, however it works in your favor. But you're going to realize that with the schedule that you physically identify, hey, I'm working 9 to 5, I'm getting up, I'm doing my meditation, I'm doing my shower, I'm doing my dishes, I'm spending my quality time, I have my date night, I have my personal night, I have my gym time, right? All of that is part of your schedule. And and it sucks, because this is where accountability is key in helping you identify your schedule. By being able to identify what's working in your schedule, you're then going to be able to do this. Identify what currency pairs are you available to trade, right? Let me break that down one more time. It's going to go over a lot of people's heads. It's perfectly fine, though, making sure that we're doing this, right? So when you write your schedule down, right, whether you write your schedule down, however you do it, inside the manual, you have more than one option. You're going to have an opportunity for you to realize, okay, I can trade during this time, whether if that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the morning, right? Whether if that's 10 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m., 12 p.m., right? You get the gist. Now, based off of the block of time that you have available to trade, the next thing you're going to do, you're going to match that time up with which currency pairs is moving during that time. Let me say that again. Based off the time that you are available to trade, right? You're going to have to make a sacrifice, right? If you're going to sleep late and you're waking up late, I'm sorry, it's not going to make sense, right? You might have to cut an hour or two out of that sleep to be able to get in on the opportunity if you're working, right? But that's all part of the grind, the process, the elevation process. So if you're available to trade, let's say if you're working a 9 to 5, I was trading at 4, 5 a.m. because I had to get up and get ready for work, right? So if I'm trading at 4 in the morning, right? Oh, this is Eastern base. I was looking at my euros. I was looking at my GBPs, right? There was days that I would get home at 9, 10, 11 p.m. And at that time, I would look at my AUD, my JPYs, my NZDs, right? So this is going to help you now start focusing as a manual trader on what's moving during that time. It makes no sense to try to trade GBP, right now because it's not GBP session. So by allowing yourself to be mentally prepared with identifying the currencies, now you can go into the pairs that you're trading, right? And hopefully this makes sense, right? So what we did so far is the two biggest problems that traders face is that they don't know how to truly ace their finances, right? Think about it. 70% of Americans don't even have $1,000 after expenses. It sucks. It's the reality. What that tells me is if 70% of people don't even have $1,000, right? When they come into this market, guess what? They're going to probably put in less than $1,000 into their account. And if you have bills and responsibilities and you're looking at your phone bill and it's $100, you got your internet bill, it's $100. You got your car bill, you know what I'm saying? Let's just say hypothetically, you got the intention that you got to make all this money. If you have $1,000 and you're trying to make $1,000, guess what? That equals 100% return. That makes no sense. Because if you did the exact same thing with $100,000 and you did that 100% the same way you did it with 1,000, guess what? You would make 100K, right? And there's platforms out there that are willing to pay you 70 to 90%. Doing the exact same thing. You see what I'm saying? This is all helping you identify that at the end of the day, this is a skill that's gonna change generational wealth, because now that you have the skill, you can leverage it in opportunities like this, where now you'll be able to get paid out 70 to 90% of that, right? Just imagine that. Doing the exact same thing. Now I'll be honest with you. We're not here to do 100% gains every month. Yes, it's probably possible, but let's be realistic here. That's why traders fail, because they're trying to make all of these gains and all of these returns, and they're emotionally stressed due to the lack of their financial secureness, right? Understand that what we're doing here is we're going to conquer the two biggest problems people face: finances, time management, right? And now, when you're able to conquer your finances and your time management, the next thing we need to do is identify where we are going, right? You could call that your goal, your journey, because I'm okay with understanding that this is a skill set. It might take time. It's not going to come overnight. It might see, a month or 2, 3 months, 4 months. Hey, who knows? So with this journey, you need to identify the end goal, right? So everybody's end goal should be to get funded as a trader, right? Because if you notice, people are financially restricted. So by tapping into a funded platform, the same person who has $1,000 could actually use that $1,000 and now have over $100,000 of buying power. You know what I'm saying? So if you know that that's the goal and that's the journey, the next thing you need to ask yourself is, well, what do I need to do to get funded, right? Most platforms out there, what you need to do is you need to make sure that your daily drawdown is no greater than 5%, and your goal is to get 10%. Watch this. I'm going to give you guys the blueprint, because if you already know what you're doing from day one, we're all moving in the same direction, right? because this is all skill set. I want you to write this down. All right. These platforms, this is right here what we're going to be focusing on. How can I make sure that I do not exceed a daily loss of 5% and a max loss of 10%, and I get 10% profits, right? Because if I can do that, if I can show these platforms that I'm a professional trader and I can use these proper parameters, they are willing to fund me 100,000, 200,000, up to $2 million, right? And this is all the mind. This is all about the mindset. You see, the problem is I cannot show this to an ordinary person because that ordinary person is going to take their $1,000 and I'm going to say, hey, your goal is to get 10%. And they're going to look at me and say, Anthony, 10% of $1,000 is only $100. That's more than my phone bill. I spent that on gas. You see what I'm saying? But when we are able to do that exact same thing, and this is why starting off and practicing from day one and identifying that you need to start using these bigger accounts. Yes, it's great to flip your account and do a quick flip. Yes, it's great to grow your account from 50 to 5,000 in 3 days. Yes. But if you would have had 100K, 200K, you understand now that you don't need to be flipping your money. You don't need to be risking your money. Now you need to be just preserving your capital, making sure that you're doing proper risk management so you can get your percentage, right? And that should make sense to everybody, right? So rather than trading now $1,000, you're trading $100,000, right? There's platforms that literally will give you up from anywhere from 10 to 200K in funding, right? And that's usually the same parameters. So what that means is now you're able to tap in, make more profit. Now you're able to make, let's say 10% on 100K is what, 10K? 10% of 100,000 definitely equals 10K. You get 70% of that. Now easily you're at 7K. You see what I'm saying? By doing the exact same thing, you literally exceeded your expectations and nothing changed. That's one of the biggest things I had to realize. Man, my skill set is there, but now I need to click. Now I need to tap into these funding platforms because when you have bigger, larger capital, you're going to get your results, right? So I'm making sure to just show you guys now, how do we get this? Now that we know exactly what we need to do, this right here is your goals of what you should be doing when you're trading, right? Tap into a demo account. How can we now tap in with our elevated resources to get us there? Right? So when you log into your back office, here, let me just make sure something real quick. Give me 1 second. When you go to elevatedfx.com, we have 2 main packages, right? Let me show you guys those 2 main packages that you're going to tap into. Right? We have our Enigma, which is our FX Accelerator package. And then we have our FX Mastery package, right? So when you tapped in, you either came in and paid $97 per month or $197 per month. Now, the great thing is, if you select on each plan, you're going to notice that we do have a yearly option for each one. Give me 1 second. I think my computer is a little slow today. Oh man, page is unresponsive. All right, no worries. Yeah, I'm dropping too much sauce. That's what happens when we drop too much sauce. Give me 1 second. I got all these apps and cameras and all this running. All right, so when we scroll to the bottom, bada bing, bada boom, you click on your plan. You're going to have the yearly discount, right? If I'm not mistaken, the yearly option for the 197 is $14.95, right? And if I'm not mistaken, the yearly access for the 97 package is, I think, $6.97, right? Nonetheless, once you plug in, this is going to be our back office for you to access our Discord, right? That's the first thing I want everybody to do. Make sure you do not leave this call, you do not go to sleep without you doing two things: downloading your success manual and accessing the Discord, right? I want to make sure that you can tap in and utilize all of these resources, right? If you only paid $97 a month, right? Or you paid that, I think it's like $6.97 or six and some change. That is our Enigma tab right here. If you have our complete 197 package, you're gonna see that you're gonna have access to our FX Mastery, right? You're gonna have access to our Enigma System. You're gonna have access to our FX Trade Manager, right? So let me just make sure. Let me make sure we're all on the same page, right? So if you guys came in and are paying $97, you have access to Enigma, right? You have access to the alerts that are coming in. You have access to the system. I'm going to show you guys. It's accessible on your mobile device and your laptop, right? Here. Or maybe not. I'll show you guys later. If you're in the 197 package, this includes Enigma. This includes your FX Mastery. This includes your Pullback Pips indicator. This includes your IQ Trade Manager, right? These are all the resources you're going to tap into. So I want to make sure from day one, right now, you understand how to use each one of those resources. Now, when you go in and you tap into your Enigma system, it's going to look something like this, right? It's literally a tool that's going to give you your institutional trade setups, right? So remember, if you're paying $197, yes, you have access to this. If you're paying $97, yes, you have access to this. So make sure that you have access and you tap in, right? You're literally going to receive these alerts that come in 24/7, right? Now, you're also going to notice here, let me just show you just some other pairs real quick, right? Oh, this was actually a setup we talked about on Sunday. But here's Enigma right here. Boom, boom, boom. You're seeing those setups. Let me scroll over here. Oh, look at that. All of these were past Enigma setups. So now you're able to use this tool with proper risk management, identifying the proper institutional trades, right? As long as you're using proper risk management, you're going to see most of them are going to win. It's over 70% profitable, accurate, right? You will have your losses, but as you can see, bada bing, bada boom, a lot of these bad boys like to hit their targets, right? So make sure that you don't go to sleep without contacting and getting set up with Enigma, right? If you need any assistance in getting set up with any of our tools, we have a support team on the bottom right-hand corner, right here. You see that icon? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. So with our Enigma system, right, for those who want to know how to access Enigma, all you do is you go to your products, you click on Enigma, it's going to take you here, right? The first thing I would do is go and watch all the videos in the playlist. There's 4 right now, but we'll keep adding a few more. And I want you to make sure that you fill out this form, right? Like literally, put your name in, put your email, and put your username. If any of that is incorrect, you're not going to get access. It's as simple as that. Make sure you're using the right username, the one that you used to register, right, into Elevated FX. Put your name and put your TradingView username. If you put the wrong one in, of course, it's not going to work. But if you put the right one in, right, if you filled out all of this information, now you can go to tradingview.com. You can go to your indicators, and best believe when you go into your invite only, you will see Enigma. Bada boom, bada bing, right? And you pull it up, and it's going to look just like this, right? You pull it up on any currency pair, and it's going to find those institutional setups, right? Like I said, some will win, some will lose, but best believe the majority will keep you profitable, right? Utilizing these systems, these tools, right? This was a recent setup. It's in profit. You get the gist, right? This is Enigma. Everybody should have access to this tool. Seriously, it's a no-brainer. Now, the next thing that you're going to do is I want you guys to go into your FX mastery. When you go into your FX mastery, this is going to be where you're going to start educating yourself. Seriously, I don't want you guys just to start using these tools without the right education, right? Now, inside our FX Mastery, we have 3 educators, myself, Osman, and IT, right? It literally gives you the time that we have our sessions. So IT has his sessions every Monday and Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, right? I have my sessions every Sunday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, right? And Osman has his every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Eastern. So you're going to get an array of our weekly webinars as well as our content inside these playlists, right? You're going to notice I focus more on the basics, the introduction, making sure you understand the foundation. Osman is going to focus more on intraday sniping, right? You're going to learn, look at all of this amazing content. And of course, IT is going to teach you about smart money concepts, right? And truly trading, that fundamental aspect in the markets. So for those individuals who have your 197 package, yes, this is your FX Mastery curriculum. If you do not have access to this, what are you going to do? You're going to go in and contact your customer support, right? Let them know, hey, I'm paying 197. I need access, right? I paid $14.95. I need access. Now, the great thing is when you go inside your FX Mastery, aside from the videos, there's going to be this area that says access this software, right? Access this software. Here, let me make sure. I'm going to grab something over here. All right, let's see. Okay. Let's just keep bouncing off of this right here. So the next thing we're going to do is we need to make sure, let's have a quick checklist. Just a quick checklist, right? Because everybody should be taking care of this. The first thing you need to be able to identify is your finances, your time, your goal, this journey, what you're looking to get out of it. And now that we know that where we're at, it's time to do a quick checklist. Before you go to sleep, I need to make sure that you are inside the Discord, right? I need you to verify your account, right? Inside Discord. The next thing you need to do is you need to make sure you have access to your Enigma trading system, right? I'm talking about not only the Discord alerts that are going to come in for Enigma, but I'm talking about having the trading view indicator, right? And that you're going to fill out that access inside the back office, right? Let's make sure that nobody's sleeping on us tonight, right? The next thing we need to do is we need to make sure to get our pullback pips indicator, right? And this is for those people who have the FX Mastery. And this is inside your FX Mastery, right? And this is, of course, the trading view indicator. Now, all you have to do is you go into your elevated, you click this right here, access this software. And guess what? You're going to do the same thing you did for Enigma. You're going to put your name and your trading view username and click submit. Once you do that, boom, you're going to have access to Pullback Pips. What is Pullback Pips? Well, let's come over here to invite only and let's find Pullback Pips, right? Let that bad boy load on. Pullback Pips is a tool that's going to do 2 things. The first one is it helps you identify the bias in the market, right? When you go into your pullback pips, you're going to be able to identify your bias on a bigger time frame. So for example, for those people who like to trade on the 15-minute or the 30-minute, right? I like to use Enigma on the 30-minute or the 1 hour. Guess what? I'm going to be able to have my Enigma system sending me out my alerts. I'm going to have my pullback pips indicator, which is giving me the bias of the market, right? That's the background, right? That's the red or the green. All right. So for example, if it's green, we're looking to buy. If we're red, we're looking for sells, right? Of course, you want to add confirmations based off of what you're learning in the market, right? Simple, nothing too complicated. It happens with every currency pair, right? Boom. Red represents what? We're selling the market. Green represents what? We're in a buying market. Of course, confirmed with technicals. Now, since you have your Enigma system, guess what? Enigma is going to be able to tell you, hey, we have an institutional setup. So whenever Enigma tells me that we're selling the market, I make sure that Pullback Pips is telling me we're also in a bearish market. Not only that, I want to do a quick replay so you guys can see something. All right, I want to make sure you guys can see this. Pullback Pips is not only going to give you the bias in the market, but you're going to see these lines. We call that structure, right? If you go into your elevated right here in the playlist, there's literally videos that talk about the pullback pips, structure with pullback pips, trend analysis with pullback pips, right? Support and resistance, how to use the pullback pips in those situations. So in this scenario, right, you're going to notice, and this is what's going to happen. The market's going to break through that supportive region, right? Since we're bearish, let's just see it. Bada bing, bada boom, right? And if you notice, Enigma gave us a what? A seller's setup. Now, the good thing is when you're using this tool, this pullback pips indicator, you're also going to notice these levels of structure, right? Because if you notice, since the market just broke that, this was once supportive. What that's telling me is that this area is going to now serve as rejection. So yes, I would love to get on some NZD, USD, pushing this bad boy to the upside, right? Enigma gives us the stop loss, the take profit levels. We confirm it with some technicals, and guess what? We're able to move in the favor, right? Now, as this bad boy is moving, you'll be able to manage your trade and everything. But the key thing is to make sure you understand. Let me take Enigma off real quick. When you have your pullback pips indicator, these levels of structure are going to help you identify where you can get in the market, where you can get out of the market, how you can identify the moves from the market, right? So as you can see right here, what is this? The market came and showed you rejection off of that structure. So best believe that Enigma setup that came in, boom, it should continue going to the downside if it wants to reject that level. That stop loss should not get hit, right? Now, as you already know, using proper risk management is going to take you one step ahead of the game. Look at that. We even got another Enigma setup right here. It broke through that level of structure. So best believe, what do you think it's going to do? Continue selling off, right? Bada bing, bada boom. Beautiful stuff. And that's where we're currently at when it comes to NZD USD, right? NZD was beautiful this week on Enigma with the bearish setup on pullbacks, right? Now, I just want to show you guys some other past examples. Let me see. Where's Enigma? The key thing, and this is what's beautiful. Since we already know that Enigma is already 70-75% profitable accuracy, I'm talking, right? When you know that you're identifying a bullish setup and your pullback pips is telling you that you're bullish, powerful stuff right there, right? You're able to not only get in on opportunities. Here, let me just show you a quick replay like this. Let me show you guys, because if you remember pullback pips has these levels, these lines, these structure points, right? Because if the market wants to react, it's either going to break through that or it's going to want to pull back and react off of these other levels. There's training in the back office for that. But I want to just show you guys how this bad boy literally, I clicked it a little too fast. Let me see if I can go back, right? Boom, Enigma is going to give us our setup. You're going to see it literally pulls back into this region, right? This region right here was resisting, right? So what do you think it's going to be? It's going to be supportive. It's going to want to push up. And what's better is not only does Enigma give us the setups, but we know we have a structure level there that we can push this market to. Yes, best believe we would have been identifying a bullish opportunity, having our stop loss, right? Having our targets identified. Enigma setup, playbooks, very, very simple stuff, right? And what's powerful is as this market makes its move, right, as it starts breaking to the upside, this is opportunity for you to now to realize two things. The first one is Enigma hit the TPs like nothing, right? So you definitely got to understand, how can I make it this risk free? How can I identify the setup to getting into this market, right? Because I already identified we were bullish. You see, Enigma just gave us another setup. So what would you do? Is you'd be able to identify, well, if I'm bullish, I'm going to react off of these levels, right? And you know, and then you eventually get the playbook of this market if it decides to make its move to the upside, right? You'll have some trades that hit the stop loss, like this scenario, but you'll still identify that, guess what? I'm still what? Bullish. I'm still bullish. You can't let a hit stop loss avoid the trade setup because you know you're still bullish. So as this market starts breaking up, Enigma does give us another setup. We would have happily took that bad boy. And guess what? Push that bad boy to the upside. So what's a good learning experience from this? Yes, you're going to lose some. Yes, you're going to win some, right? But best believe you should be winning more, right? And as long as you can identify a tool that's helping you know the bias of the market, know when to get in, that right there is 2 steps to getting you on the right track, right? So that's Enigma and that's Pullback Pips. So just a quick recap. I want to make sure that everybody is inside the Discord. I want to make sure that you have access to your Enigma system. I want to make sure that you have access to your Pullback Pips indicator, right? Now the next thing is our trade manager, right? And that's going to be where we'll finish off, and we'll talk more on our trade manager, because if I'm not mistaken, we're dropping videos on it that should be dropped soon. But the trade manager is in our back office inside the cloud VPS, right? And I'm just going to give you guys a brief introduction on how that works. When you go into your VPS, right, you should already have these login credentials. What you're going to be able to do is you'll connect your account, and I'm going to show you guys how this works. When you connect your account, right, you're going to literally come over here to Trade Manager, right? Right now, my Trade Manager is open right now. The smiley face means it's good. But what it literally does is, whenever you set a pending order, it's going to literally do everything for you. So if you notice, Enigma only sends out pending orders. When Enigma gives you a setup, let me show you guys what I mean by that. When Enigma gives you a setup, here, let's replay. All right, let me show you guys something. When Enigma gives us a setup, boom, right? We have our entry, we have our stop loss. We want the market to pull back into this area and then go up, right? So you're going to notice by taking that limit order, boom, it activated, and now it would push us up. So the great thing is, inside your trade manager, whenever you set a pending order, it literally does everything for you. What do I mean? It sets your risk. So if you whenever you set a pending order, all you have to do is put a 0.01, and it's going to literally calculate your risk based off of your account balance. So if you want to risk 0.5%, you put 0.5, right? 0.5. If you want to risk 1%, you put 1, right? If you want to risk 0.25%, you put 0.25, right? And what that does is it's automatically going to stay mechanical, systematic to your trading. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't get emotional with your trading, right? Now, the next thing about the trade manager that I like is not only is it going to take your profit for you automatically, but it's also going to be able to move your stop loss to break even, making it a risk-free trade, right? And automatically closing your trades if needed. This bad boy is doing everything for you. So if you're on the go, all you have to do is connect your account right here, right? I connected my demo account. I got my trade manager on, And now I can literally place my trade from my phone and the trade manager will do the rest. Manage it, place it, identify the risk, move the stop loss, right? So I want to make sure that everybody inside your back office, you have your trade manager. How do you know if you have your trade manager? Well, once you log into your VPS, you just come over here, you click, you can view, you click navigator, and it's going to be down here, trade manager, right? I know exactly what I'm getting out of this process, right? I know exactly that I'm coming into Elevated FX to tap into these resources. I'm talking about Enigma, Pullback Pips, Trade Manager, Success Blueprint, right? And now that I have all of these identified, now we can move on to day 2, the next day of this process. So make sure, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you are inside the Discord. Make sure that you have access to the Enigma System and your Pullback Pips. And once you have access to those, make sure that you have your trade manager. Those are going to be the powerhouse tools that's going to help you elevate and really take your trading to the next level, right? Now, once you have all of these tools and you know exactly where they're located, as I showed you, right? What's next? Well, remember, we already went into our success blueprint and we talked about how we can overcome finances, how we can overcome our time, how we can truly identify the right currency to trade during that time, right? Let me make sure you guys can see this. Based off of the time that you have available, you now know what currency is moving, right? The key thing is you know the currency that is moving, not the currency pair. You don't see Euro USD, Euro CAD, Euro NZD. No, it says Euro. It says GBP. It says JPY. Because at that time, you're trading those currencies, right? And then looking at the pairs. So that was a good reference. You also have a video that breaks this down. But if you want right now, do me a favor, take a screenshot. This is right here is a gem. And you're going to notice there's one time that I don't trade, and that's 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. And that's because New York session is closing. There's low liquidity. The spread likes to spike. There's manipulation in price at times. So best believe, whenever there's anything that's going to take the edge away from my trading, I'm stepping away. And that's one thing why I have it blacked out. I call it the zombie zone, right? It's dead out there. It's dead and it gets freaky, right? So make sure you have all of that, because that's going to take you one step closer to taking your trading to the next level. Let me see. Let me just double check everything. All right. Yeah, that should be it for today, family. That will be it for today. Today, day 1. I don't want you to think about trading. The first day, day 1, right now, today. If this is your first day, I want you to get set up. I want you to identify your game plan, right? So we can continue and move on the right foot, right? So I appreciate all of you guys on this call, right? If you're watching a replay, just type in #replay. Make sure that you knock out these 4 essential checklists: Discord, Enigma, Pullback Pips, Trade Manager. And if you cannot access any of those, all you have to do is inside your elevated back office, there's this right here, bottom right corner. It's our support team, 24/7 chat. You literally click on that and you are good to go, right? So let's just give it a second. If there's any questions, feel free, drop some questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free, drop the questions. I want to make sure that you guys really hone in. We're going to talk about, obviously, everything else, accountability in a such day by day, your confirmations on your trades, all of that. That's going to be day 2. The next phase, you're going to realize the first thing we need to do is lay the foundation. All right. Once you lay the foundation, you lay the cement, you gotta what? Let it lay there. Right? Don't poke around at it. Don't mess it around. Just lay at it, understand it, and now we start building. So what we need to do now is, now that you have everything set up, the next thing you do is get educated on it, right? Now that we know what time of the day we're trading, what time of the day we're learning, what time of the day we're sleeping, right? Now that we know all of that good stuff, now we have a system that we work, a system that's going to save you what? Time, energy, and money. AUD, NZD. Yeah, I could check out. Let's check out AUD, NZD real quick. Earlier in the week, I know we were looking at a lot of the NZD pairs, and NZD USD just dropped nicely. All right, so let's just head over here real quick. Let's go to our current state right here. Yep. I don't know if you guys remember, but last week, well, not even last week, it was more on Sunday. We had NU right here. Give me 1 second. Let me just take Enigma off. We were just playing off a very basic. This was the play that we were looking at. Just seeing some reaction off of that, placing our stop loss above all that mess and pushing that bad boy down, right? So that definitely was great to see that it did exactly that. Clearly, we didn't see the reaction that we needed instantly, but best believe with the stop loss that was placed above structure, we were golden. What came out even better was that Enigma went Super Saiyan, right? If you notice, identifying that we were bearish on the NU, literally you could have taken one setup, two setups, and really been pushing these bad boys to the downside. Now, when it comes to AUD, NZD, I'll be honest, one thing about NZD is going to be choppy, right? And literally, if you look at this pair, you're going to see it itself. You're going to see the characteristic. It's a choppy pair. Like literally, look how choppy this pair is, right? I want you to truly start looking at your pairs and realizing, wow, there's some pairs that really just consolidate a little too much, right? And not that it's a bad thing, but think about this, right? If you're noticing that some of these pairs are consolidating so much, what happens when it gets out of consolidation, right? So like if you look at AUD, NZD, and you know that we're in consolidation, I want you to just measure one thing from this point to this point, right? How many pips was that, right? That was about a nice 60 pip push, right? Let's see. Whenever you have actual moments of movement, I want you to identify the moves, right? So this one wasn't bad. This was about 60 pips, right? And this right here just helps you start to see, okay, what should I be looking for when it comes to these pairs? When it comes to AUD, NZD, I know this bad boy is not going to give me 100 pips on one push, right? This was a 50 pip push, right? So you're noticing by being able to get in, you're going to identify the characteristics of some pairs. Ooh, this pair, based off of what we're seeing, it's moving what? 40, 50 pips, right? 40 to 60 pips, right? And look, that was a nice 60 pip move. All that come to say that you don't expect this bad boy to move hundreds of pips, right? Understand you're only looking for a specific range in pips, right? So let's just say right now, Enigma with this setup, it looks like we are what? Bullish. It's not a bad setup. It's not bad at all. Pullback pips. What is it saying? We are what? Bullish. What do you think I'm doing? I'm bullish. I'd take the setup for the buy. Now, what's going to be even better for this is now that we know that we're looking for some buys, we can do two things. First, let's identify the setup, right? I like to do that, right? So let's grab our quick Enigma system. We have our setups. Boom, boom, boom. Right? We have our stop loss. Right? Perfect. Now, so think about this and really look at this. This is what's going to be great about this setup if we can get the setup. Right now, I like this. I like this because I want it to pull back. All right. Looking at this AUDNZD, we've already noticed that it's been breaking a lot of rejection, right? That's what all of this was. Breaks, and the market trying to pull back to it. So right now, all of this reference should be serving as a support, right? I want you to identify that as a support. The market has no business falling down here. In fact, if it starts to break up, we can take these targets to the upside. Target 1, target 2, target 3. We already know AUDNZD at times isn't going to go straight for 100 pips. It'll usually do a what? A nice 40 to 60 pip push. So I'd look for an easy setup like this, right? Regardless, it's still valid on the pullback on Enigma. So yes, I like it. I like AUDNZD. I would just wait for some pullbacks to take it on up. Right? That's a very simple setup. It's simple, looks good. We don't even got to overcomplicate it. As long as you're using proper risk, the reward will be there. Yeah, that was a good one. AUDNZD. Now, I wanted to show you something because like when you identify the pairs that you're trading, you know how they move. So like I know that GBPs will easily go 80, 90 pips, 100 pips, right? So for example, I'll trade GBPs 2 a.m., right? If you look at 2 a.m. on whatever day it is, right here, 2 a.m., I'll trade it up until New York session, which is right here, 4 p.m., right here, boom. That's a little shorter of New York, right? The previous day, what time do I start trading, Anthony? 2 a.m. I'll trade this bad boy until what? Boom. Into New York. What's the next day else? At 2 a.m. You see, when you're so mechanical, and this is why the time is important. Look, 2 a.m. already finishing up at 1 o'clock, right? Let's do the same thing. Now, what you realize is when you identify those moves, the right time that you're trading, you're avoiding what? Consolidation. Would you rather be stuck when the market's moving sideways or actually a directional move? Whether if it's up or down, right? Would you rather be stuck when it's moving sideways or actually when it's taking off? Right now, do you want to be stuck when it's just being small and choppy, right? Or would you have rather taken the move? Now, like I said, GBPs can easily give me 70 to 80 pips. Let's measure. How many pips is this? From there to there. Look at that. That's 187 pips, right? From here to here. That's over 100 pips. From here to here. That is 150 pips. You need to understand that different currencies have different characteristics. So you need to treat every currency pair differently because they all are different. Some will move more than others, right? Let's go into what time? 2 a.m. Where you at? Right here. 2 a.m. Boom. All the way up until New York. Right here. Boom. How many pips was that, right? Look at that. That was a nice move for 130 pips. Now you notice there are going to be the days that are a little slow. That's fine. Let's see. You will have days that the market is just a little choppy. Right here from 2 to 12. Right here. Just a choppy dead market. And then we came again right here, 2 to 12, right here, right? But if you're in this for the long run, I want you to notice what we're doing here. Imagine you traded all of those days at the right time, right? Oh, you get one bad trade, but then you get a good trade, 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 right? Those wins are always gonna beat those losses as long as you're using proper risk, right? You can't over leverage because you know the bigger picture is gonna set you free. And if you do over leverage, we already know why, right? So definitely take the time today. And what I want you to do is I want you to go back to this right here. Identifying your schedule, your availability, and which currencies you're going to focus on, especially when you're manually trading. Remember, Enigma is a trading system that's already doing all the hard work for you. So definitely make sure you're using it in the back end as well, right? Because if you would have been taking some of those setups, let's just say, Enigma, where you at? Boom. Right? Look at that. Imagine that. Look at that. You're actually trading Enigma at the right time when it's moving. Ooh, right? Come on now. Right? So you'll have some wins, you'll have some losses, but best believe we're winning more than we're losing. Family, if there is no other questions, I don't think there are. That's it for tonight. Um, let's not overcomplicate it. One step at a time. What's the main thing? Making sure that you have access to everything from day one. Make sure you have your success manual and start filling out your introduction. Right, we're gonna start going into some trades, what we look for inside our FX mastery curriculum. But best believe it's a process. Don't rush the process. Right. So I'll see you guys on the next one, and take care. Have a good night.